Welcome back, everybody. Fun show for you here today. Getting back to those Training Thursday roots, we're going to be going over how many push-ups should you be able to do, and not as a vanity metric and for social media. Although I would love to hear right now, how many push-ups can you do? Please do feel free to put that in the comments. I'd just like to be able to gauge where people are at right now. But really, being able to do a push-up, or as you're going to see, many push-ups, is a real indicator of upper body strength. For example, did you know that when you're doing a push-up, you're lifting about 75% of your body weight? And if you're doing it from the knees, which I'm going to teach who should be doing it from the knees, you're lifting about 60% of your body weight. So still a pretty good amount. Now, when we look at upper body strength, this is one of those areas that rapidly begins to decline after the age of about 30 years old. And the reason this happens is that we're simply less active than we used to be. We sit down more than ever. Like I am part of that as well. That's why I make sure I get my strength training in. But one of the big things is that if because of stress, our hormones begin to become depleted, which many of them do, testosterone, DHEA, etc., then we start to lose that muscle mass. We start to enter into something called sarcopenia, which we never want. Osteopenia, loss of bone; sarcopenia, loss of muscle mass, because that begins to lower our metabolism. When we lower our metabolism, we can't eat as many calories per day without gaining weight. We also lose a lot of that, what I like to refer to as tensile-based strength, the actual muscles, the torque that we can put on the body that's able to do work and actually helps to strengthen the bones as well, which can then help to and prevent falls when we get older, which if you're living a long, healthy life, you have to make sure that you don't fall, that you don't get injured, that you don't break your hip. It's one of those things that, of course, you can rehab from, help many, many people with that. But what happens is it really starts to send people downhill. They may end up going to assisted living after that, and living a life that they just don't want to be living with a lot of assistance. So what I share with you is not just that push-ups are the end-all be-all, but that it's a good gauge of your overall upper body strength. And I would say not only that, it's a good gauge of core strength. I'm going to be sharing with you next week, so definitely stay tuned, a core-based exercise that I want you to gauge yourself on as well, just like push-ups. But I'm going to share with you also how to get better at it. And by doing it, you're actually going to improve too. So one of the things with push-ups, and the last thing I'll say is this, it is a bit weighted to your pectoral strength, which is your chest muscles, your deltoid strength, at least your anterior and medial deltoids, right? So the front and side of your shoulder, as well as the triceps, which is the back of the arm. So when you're doing push-ups, you're looking at essentially the chest, the triceps, the shoulders. And there are many more muscles that engage. I'm not saying that, but also your core and your hip flexors. And anybody that's ever had sore hip flexors or sore abs and you go to do a push-up, you can feel them, right? Like you feel how they engage. So don't think that it's strictly your chest muscles. It's actually some of your arm muscles, your shoulder, your chest, and your core. So it's really getting your whole upper body. I will say, of course, that the back muscles, posterior deltoids, lats, etc., they're going to get less work, and that's why you need to keep them balanced, of course, with rowing-based exercises, pull-downs, etc. But what I want to share with you right now is actually a chart, and I'm going to link up the chart, and I always give credit where credit's due. So I'm going to link the chart for you to gauge where you're at stevencabral.com/2813. stevencabral.com/2813. I will actually embed that chart right there, but it is from the Essentials of Exercise Physiology. All right. This is a textbook that is done for essentially strength and conditioning professionals, personal trainers, etc., as a way to gauge someone's upper body strength. So one of the things that I used to do back in the day when I had my nutrition, personal training studio, even before I ever had a functional medicine and integrative health wellness center, is that we always ran people through a set of assessments. We would do a 1-hour consultation with about half of that for assessments. It would be postural alignment. It would be strength assessments. It would be core assessments. It would be mobility. It would be flexibility. And we would actually look at not only what the person came in to accomplish in terms of their goals, but actually we would look at what we needed to work on with them as well. because we know that when you sit down at a desk for, many months and then many years, hip flexors get tight, hamstrings get tight. They both get weak at the same time. You start to get a little bit more of a kyphotic posture where you start to round your shoulders a little bit more forward. You round your lower back, so you get with that lordotic posture, the lordosis that you don't want. All of these things over time can, of course, lead to a lot of pain and tightness and lack of strength. And so what we would do is we say, okay, yeah, you want to be doing this, this, and this. We get it. But we also want to make sure that you don't get injured as you get older as well. So push-ups was one of those tests. We always looked at it. And what I want to do right now is share with you where you may fall in terms of your age-based category. All right, we're going to start with men, and then we'll get to women. So men ages 20 to 29, if you can do 54 or more push-ups, you are in the excellent category. The good category is 45 to 54, average 35 to 44, poor 20 to 34, very poor 20 or less. All right, if you're in your 30s, 44 or more, excellent. 35 to 44, good. Average 24 to 34, poor 15 to 24, 15 or less is very poor. If you're in your 40s, can you do 39 or more? Excellent. 30 to 39, good. 20 to 29, average. 12 to 19, poor. Fewer than 12, not so good. 50s, if you're in your 50s, can you do 34 or more? That's excellent. If you can do 25 to 34, that's good. Average is 15 to 24. Poor is 8 to 14. Fewer than 8 is very poor. Above the age of 60 for men, 29 or more, excellent. 20 to 29, good. 10 to 19, average. 5 to 9, poor. Less than 5, very poor. All right. So when we look at that for men, think about that. I think the excellent, that's a high number for most people. I think that the majority of people that I see, at least in the world, in my practice, are not going to be able to hit the excellent for their category. Now, they may never want to, they may never strive for that, but can you hit the good? That's really what we want. We want to be above average. So can we hit the good? And I think that is absolutely at least a first goal to strive for. All right, let's go over the women's category. Now, these push-ups, although the age ranges are the same, the push-ups are done from the knees. So that means knees on the ground and body, though, at a diagonal. So like you want to look like you're in a push-up position. If you're watching this on video, I'm putting my hands at a diagonal. You don't want to be in like a cat-cow position or like a tabletop on all fours. You actually want to spread yourself all the way out. That's the only way to make that a legitimate, push-up. And then for all push-ups, you want to get down to a 90-degree angle. So elbows the same height as your shoulders. That's your minimum, okay? And that's going to count as one full push-up. All the way down, all the way up. You don't need to lock out your elbows at the top. It's not necessarily good for your joints, but that's a full push-up. All right. Is if you're testing yourself, I want you to be able to test it legitimately against this chart. All right, women in their 20s, if you can do 48 or more, this again from the knees, that is excellent. Good, 34 to 48. Average, 17 to 33. Poor, 6 to 16. Very poor, 6 or less. All right, women in their 30s, 39 or more, excellent. Good, 25 to 39. Average, 12 to 24. Poor, 4 to 11. Very poor, 4 or less. Women in their 40s, 34 or more, excellent. 20 to 34, good. 8 to 19, average. Poor, 3 to 7. Very poor, 3 or fewer. Women in their 50s, 29 or more is excellent. 15 to 29 is good. 6 to 14 is average. 2 to 5 is poor. And then very poor is 2 or less. Women in their 60s, 19 or more, excellent. 5 to 19, good. Average, 3 to 4, poor, 1 to 2, 1 or fewer, very poor. So there you have it. That is the chart. I would love to hear where you stack up. Very poor, poor, average, good, or excellent, or just share how many push-ups you can do right now. Now, keep in mind, There's a lot that goes into this, and wherever you're at right now, it's always a starting point. So don't ever feel bad because you're in the very poor or poor category. Everybody is, for the most part, at some point until they start to train their muscles and their nervous system as well to be able to support their body and get stronger. And the goal isn't necessarily to beat anybody else, but to simply always to be your personal best. And then at some point, there's going to be diminishing returns. How many push-ups do you really need to do? Do you need to do 100 push-ups at one time? When I was in high school, that's a goal that I wanted to have. Was able to do that, did it through college, and then after that, I'm like, do I really need to be doing 100 push-ups in one clip every single day? And I said no, because I really need to be balancing that with rowing exercises as well. And I don't know that I'm going to add 100 rows, to my routine every single day. But every single day I do push-ups regardless of my routine. It's just part of my morning routine, regardless of my workout. And I think it's something good for you to be able to hold on to as you get older, and especially as you get older, as you start to lose muscle mass potentially and start to lose strength. Better and always easier to keep it than it is to try to gain it as you get to 60 plus. So listen to this show right now, take wherever you're at right now. And my goal for you would simply be to say, okay, I'm going to try to add one more push-up every single week to my routine. And you might try push-ups 3 days a week. And that's the goal. So if you're at 8 push-ups today, okay, next week 9. Right? The week after 10, keep working your way up. There is no race. That's the thing. So let's say that you're at 8 push-ups right now and you can add 12 over the next 12 weeks. Fantastic. Yeah, maybe you could go faster, but honestly, again, what's the race? If you can get to 20 push-ups, now you're up in a whole new category. For women, that's going to put you in the good category, right below excellent for most age groups. And then you can say, okay, if you're in the younger age group, you could continue to work up from there as well. There's no saying why you have to stop at 20, right? You can continue to add one more a week for the next 12 weeks. Now you're at 32. So what I'm saying to you right now is take up the challenge. Get stronger. It's going to help you in every facet of your life. Just makes everyday life easier. Picking up groceries, picking up your kids, picking up your luggage, at the airport, all of these things it's going to help you with. And it also improves bone loss as you get older as well. So hopefully today's show was helpful. Do feel free to share it with any friends. You can obviously find out their push-up limit as well. And we can just have some fun with this as a community, try to better our best. Take care, everybody. Have an amazing rest of the day. I'll be back tomorrow with our Friday review, where I go over 2 new research studies, a product review, and always a book review every single Friday. Take care. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything. Functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.